Okay, this is the continuation of section 10.1, solving quadratic equations. Example 4, we've got x squared plus 36 equals 0. The first thing we are going to do is subtract 36 to get x squared equals negative 36. And then we're going to square root. Don't forget, there's a plus minus.
See, told you.
And then we have to think about the square root of negative 36. Now, if we want to use a lot of ink, we would take this over to the side and say that the square root of negative 36 is the square root of positive 36 times the square root of negative 1. The square root of positive 36 is 6. The square root of negative 1 is the imaginary number I. The shortcut. When you see a negative under the square root, you know there's going to be an I. So just hold that in your mind and then look at this number. Do you need to break it down or is it a perfect square? This one's a perfect square, so 6I. I would like, B is a little bit different. Hold on. Sorry. If there was a number added or subtracted after the parentheses, you'd have to add or subtract to get rid of it. If there was a number in front, you would need to divide it to get rid of it. Once the parentheses are by themselves, we are going to square root it. So x minus 4 equals plus or minus. The square root of positive 49 is 7, and because there's a negative, that means there's an I. Now, this problem is not done. We don't have x by itself yet. We need to add 4 on both sides. You need to put the positive 4 first, then the plus minus 7i. Because the 7 has an I multiplied to it, you can't combine the 4 and the 7. So this is not 11i. They are not like terms. You can't combine them. If you wanted to write this as two separate answers, one answer would be 4 plus 7i. The other answer would be 4 minus 7i. But you can't combine them. They are not like terms. All right, example 5. This looks like a trinomial that we might need to factor. And basically, I want you to go about factoring this the same way we did on example 1 yesterday. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us 36 and add up to negative 13. So 1 times 36, that's not going to work. 2 times 18, no. 3 times 12, no. 4 times 9. Would 4 and 9 work?
Yeah.
Because it's positive 36, they either both have to be positive or both have to be negative. We're adding up to negative 13, so they both have to be negative. This is how we factored trinomials yesterday, when the trinomials were x squared minus 13x plus 36. The problem here, if I FOILed this out, x times x would give me x squared. We need it to give us x to the 4th. Anyone have any ideas what we could do? If we made both of them x squared, we fix that problem. X squared, no, don't go on yet. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th. When you do x squared times negative 9 and negative 4 times x squared, those would combine to give you the negative 13x squared. Negative 4 times negative 9 is positive 36. So when you see x to the 4th with x squared in the middle, your x's in the binomials are going to be x squareds instead of plain x's. Now, to solve this, you have two options. You can continue factoring, or you can write equations and solve. Do you want to continue factoring, or you want to skip to the solving? Skip to the solving? If you want to factor and you know how to factor these, go for it. That'll help you get the answer pretty quick too. But we can do x squared minus 4 needs to equal 0, and x squared minus 9 needs to equal 0. These are kind of like the first example we did, except not negative. Add 4 to both sides. We've got x squared equals 4. Square root. What's the square root of 4?
2.
What do we have to put in front?
Plus minus.
So 2 of our solutions are 2 and -2. Now we go over to the other part. X squared equals 9. Square root. What's the square root of 9? Positive or -3. How many solutions are there to this particular equation? There are 4. What was the largest exponent in this problem? 4. Do you think there's a connection between the largest exponent and the number of solutions? There definitely is. The largest exponent always tells you the possible number of solutions that that equation is going to have. I would like you to start B on your own. Start by factoring. And if you're watching the video, please pause the video so that you can try this on your own and then play it once you get stuck or once you're done and you want to check your answers. If you need to for the factoring, you absolutely can draw out the blanks. We're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to give us 10 and add up to -7. So -2 and -5 fit that pattern. So if I just write x minus 2 and x minus 5, that's not quite right because x times x would give me x squared, not x to the 4th. So I need it to be x squared minus 2 and x squared minus 5. When we solve this, we've got x squared minus 2 equals 0. We'd add 2 to both sides and then take the square root. Do you know the square root of 2 off the top of your head? It's not a perfect square, so it's some crazy decimal. We don't want decimals, so we write plus minus and leave it as the square root of 2. X squared minus 5 must equal 0, so x squared must equal 5. So x is going to equal the positive or negative square root of 5. Our 4 solutions are positive square root of 2, negative square root of 2, positive square root of 5, negative square root of 5. And here's your 10.1 day 2 book assignment. Number 98, you're going to have to turn a couple pages to find number 98. I want you to give 98 a fair shot, but I don't want you to throw your head against a wall because you're frustrated by number 98. So give it a try, but don't let it just totally frustrate you.